Hey you guys, first of all I'm sorry I couldn't make so many videos, and that's going to be it for the next probably 2 to 3 months. This is my second or third channel, should I say? Yeah, I've got some other projects going on too, and I'm really busy and I have to take care of my kid as well. So, just so you know. And also YouTube kind of screwed me over because they said if you reach 3,000 hours of watch time, you're gonna have super thanks and memberships. And I did reach them, but for some reason the analytics ticker went up over the 3K hours, but I never got this super shit stuff. So nobody can even support this channel other than over Ko-Fi. This is not a plug, just don't, because I cannot promise anything. I mean, unless you want to waste your money on me, I don't know. But this kind of pissed me off and totally tanked my motivation. Anyway, this video is something that I just want to get out there. I hope it will help someone, so if it did, let me know. I just went on TikTok. I know TikTok totally sucks, fries your brain, but gardening videos, oh, the gardening and the cabin core, amazing. I look at this and it makes me happy. Anyway, I watched this video. Germany right now, we see a lot of right-wing ideology popping up again. Not again as in like in the 1930s, again like in the, I don't know, 90s or something. Yeah, neo-Nazis were a big thing in Germany in the 90s for some reason. Maybe it was because of the economic crisis, or, you know, I just remember as a kid, I had a lot of acquaintances who kind of entered this right-wing spectrum, becoming skinheads, or the female version, what we called Reenie girls, with like a shitty short fringe and no hair in the back. Yeah. Looks like total crap, no idea why you want to look like that in puberty. You already have your face full of pimples, but then you throw away all your hair to become a neo-Nazi girl. I don't know that happened. If you want me to talk about this kind of stuff, I can. Just give me your questions and wait for 3 months, I guess. Anyway, this kind of thing, I feel like it's happening again a little bit. I'm not super sure because now we have social media too. And on social media, everything seems like more dramatic. Back then we only had magazines and it was not represented that well in those. Like youth culture and youth trends in general were not. So when I go on TikTok now, I see a lot of videos from right-wing teenagers and AfD party promoters, and it's just very different to what I have seen in my youth in the 90s. Anyway, I feel like there is a right-wing shift, and we see that already in politics, as in right-wing parties like the AfD party getting more votes. And in general, you see this polarization in social media, as in left-wingers against right-wingers. It's not working class against those up there. I mean, I guess if you're ultra-left-wing, it's like women against men as well. I don't know, that's not really my thing. Like, my major struggle is not whether or not I have tits. My major struggle is what food goes on the table, will I have work and a nice home and be able to afford vacation. That kind of stuff. Anyway, why all this preface? Because when I see videos like that from this young guy, I'm not super sure if it is that serious, or, you know, maybe he's just a traveler and is planning to come to Germany, not to really live here, and he's just joking. I do not know. It's not important for the topic. The thing is that I am still kind of embarrassed that he's getting these kinds of comments below his video, because it's just not fair. If you're a foreigner and you're getting this too, or you have read this kind of stuff, and you're thinking, oh, well, are they like that? Are all of them like that? In general, Germans do have a kind of welcoming but pragmatic culture, you know? So if you come here, if you're willing to work, everybody will basically just welcome you. Even the right-wingers. The right-wingers even make it their thing. As in, oh, we just want these foreigners, not those, not the socially weak, not the physically impaired. Just like, don't bring your sick grandma if you come here, you know, from a war zone, if you're fleeing and you also have your sick grandma with you who cannot work. Oh, can you leave her at home, you know? Because we don't need those. But, oh, so you're a physician. Oh, well, nice. Come here. Oh, you're a nurse. You're a teacher. Oh, no. You don't want that, because you would want to wear a hijab in a classroom. Ew, no, please, that not. But if you want to clean the school as a cleaning lady, that's fine, because then you're not a forbid. Only if you're a teacher, then you're not supposed to wear a hijab. Anyway, interesting takes all over. Do not listen to those people, but know that they exist. And yes, there are racist assholes in this society. Plenty. There are assholes in any society. In my opinion, what is even more annoying though are the people who are not out and loud on social media, but the ones who are really subtle about it, or who might not even know that the shit they're pulling is racist. As in, if you're looking for an apartment and you just can't find anyone because your last name is, I don't know, Tirani. Good luck finding an apartment in Munich where it's already hard. Like, I was looking for 2.5 years to find this flat. Yeah, it's difficult. So if your last name is not Müller or Meyer, then yeah, people would have these weird ressentiments against you or your kind. And it's hard to overcome even if you bring a picture with yourself wearing a suit while you are wearing a suit to the open house. Honest recommendation though, always overdress. If you're a foreigner, just always fucking overdress, because that really helps. Like if you have an appointment, some official appointment, and don't wear one of those cheap suits. We call them Konfirmandenanzüge from confirmation, Firmung, Konfirmation. Yeah, the thing is you do in church to reaffirm your beliefs, as in when you're of age and you're like, oh yeah, I want to keep praying to this God. And to that you wear a cheap suit. So you call them Konfirmandenanzüge because they look like you would wear that to this event when you're like 16 or something. So don't wear something like that from H&M. Don't wear one of those. But also not one that is like too expensive. I mean, if you go to a job interview, a $300 suit would be good. I would say, yeah, that's like minimum $200. But in general, if you just go to an open house, just an okay suit, even from a normal retailer, will do if it is good looking. Just bring someone who has taste with you. Do we even have seminars in this kind of shit? So this video is going to be the tangent of all tangents. But in general, like, overdressing is really helpful if you want to get anything going for yourself in this country. It's the same if you're a woman. Like, if I go to the bank and I just want to do some random bank business and I'm wearing a suit, everyone is serving me right away, being friendly. If I come t-shirt and jeans, it's like, oh, who are you? Do you even have $5? I don't know. I don't like it either, but I'm also not willing to wait, and it's easier to put on a suit than to fight this in the streets. So I can keep fighting this in the streets. Maybe not, because I don't have time for that, but I can keep fighting this on social media. Yay, activism. But while I am doing this very important fight, I can also just do what will help me in the moment, which is wearing the stuff that gets me more respect. Oh, this is so annoying. I feel sad for everyone who comes here and has to experience this. Anyway, now about the right-wing ressentiments against foreigners. Personally, I think that a lot of these people have fundamental weird beliefs about life. Someone did them dirty at some point in their lives, I don't know. And they think that if you come to this country, you're gonna take their job, whatever that job might be. Probably not a job where you need a very high qualification for. So yeah, maybe they should be afraid. Also, Germany is notorious for giving its immigrants their shit jobs. The cleaning jobs, the taxi driver, the Spargelstecher, fucking Spargelstecher. We don't want to do that shit, so the Ausländers do it. It's like Schrödinger's Immigrant. On one side, the immigrant is lazy and doesn't work, and we don't want that. And on the other hand, he's taken your job. What is it? Is it a mix of both states? I don't know. I studied physics. I don't get it. Or I don't know. Maybe right-wing Germans really are after the shit jobs after all, and it's just a big misunderstanding. I don't know. Anyway, if you come here, don't think about how to please these people. You could probably do that because at least if they're not lying, which I do not know. I think they are. I think they are just pushing out these statements as in, oh, you're a good Ausländer if you do this and that, and then we want you. They still don't want you. They just say that to be safe. I don't believe this for 1 second. But if you wanted to adhere to their standards of what a good Ausländer is, you probably would have to come here, already speak perfect German, already have a job, and then be okay with a shitty ass apartment, not bring your family, marry a German. No, that's also not okay, because then you would pollute our blood or some shit. So you marry another person from your ethnicity, I guess. But then please do not create a subculture, because that is dangerous to our democracy. Well, I don't know if you can ever satisfy those people. I don't think so. But nonetheless, there are some claims which are kind of legit. As in, if you look at it in a very neutral and non-fucking racist way, you can understand where they're coming from. And there are probably going to be a lot of Germans who have similar beliefs, but they don't come from a place of we don't want you here. They come from a place of we want you here, but please be part of this society. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. This was the longest intro ever, and now this part is probably going to be 3 minutes. Shit. Okay, one thing that I see most immigrants struggle with is the German language. And a lot of them seem to think that you can learn a language once you are here. This is bullshit. You can learn the language once you're here, but not if you have a family to take care of, a job, struggling to find a bigger apartment, because now there's 3 of you living in a 1-room apartment, which is, by the way, most of the times forbidden or not wanted, and you can get in trouble for that. So if you brought your wife here and now your wife has a kid and now you're a family and you're struggling to find an apartment and you have to work late because everything depends on you and your job, and maybe your wife is working as well, if you are lucky enough to have found a spot in daycare, which in many cities is not easy. I doubt that after work you have the energy to learn German. So what will you do? You will hang out with your English-speaking expat friends, with your English-speaking German friends, or with the people who speak your language. I live in Munich. I am not from Munich. The majority of people in my inner friend circle are expats or people who are not from Munich, at least. Finding German friends is hard, even for me as a German. I'm from Eastern Germany. I'm already like an alien to this country of Bavaria. Anyway, that is the number 1 thing you should do. You should learn German before you fucking come here, because it will help you such a big deal, especially if you work in a German company where a lot of German speakers are. We do have English-speaking companies, as in I worked in an American company and a lot of people were just speaking English in the break room. And whenever there is just one person who doesn't speak German, everyone just switches to English naturally. In research and development, that is not a big deal. We all speak English anyway, to the level that I speak English, or a little bit worse or a little bit better. Let's just say if you work in STEM, it's not going to be hard to find a workplace where you don't need C1 level German. However, in a communication with your coworkers, it will always be more natural and people will like you better for trying and speaking German. I have a video about how to immerse yourself more into the German language and how to bring others to speak German with you more. So if you want to know how to do that, then watch the video. So what I'm saying is that if you know some basic German, you will make friends more easily and you will just have it easier in general in your life in Germany. I do also understand the sentiment that if you want to come here, you should want to participate in this society. Because why would anyone come to a country and not want to participate? As in, oh, I just want to hang out with the people who speak my language. I don't really want to learn German. I don't really want to eat German food. It's all ugly and I don't know. I lived in Sweden for 3 months. I came there and I did as the Swedish do because I wanted to immerse myself into that culture because I liked it there. So maybe the key is don't come to a country if you don't like it there, if you don't like the culture, if you don't like the food, if you don't like the language, that's not the country to immigrate to for you. Maybe there's a better one than Germany. Because if you come here with all this prejudice, you won't like it here and you won't make friends. I do think that Germans should be more open towards foreigners, because I see on the daily with my expat friends how difficult it is for them to make friends here, how difficult it even is for myself. But yeah, you need to have some sort of affection for this country to just hier klarzukommen, okay? To get along. And maybe that is what the right-wingers criticize about what they call subcultures, Subkulturen, gefährliche Subkulturen. I don't think they're dangerous most of the time, other than for your language skills. But it is kind of shitty. Like, come on. If I go to Sweden and I live there and then I just hang out with Germans, I think people would frown upon that. Like, why did you immigrate to Sweden if you don't like to hang out with Swedes, if you don't like the Swedish food? So you just go to work there in the Swedish company, don't speak Swedish all day, only speak English, and then you go home, speak German with your family and only do German shit and eat German food. So would you not think that's a little nuts? That is a little fucking nuts. Yet a lot of foreigners do exactly this thing. I think that most of the time it is because they just don't find any friends, and so it's hard to speak German. But it's not just about the speaking German, it's about the culture. And when I say that, sometimes Germans themselves, they are like, what culture? What culture? Bratwurst? Oh, come on. You know exactly what culture, okay? We have plenty of museums and shit and parks and mountains and hiking and I don't know what's German. Potatoes, just go and eat some potato dish in some restaurant. No, don't. Don't recommend that. The way Germans party, like mass amounts of beer drinking. No, I'm just kidding. But to say that is just so nuts. I think we most of the time don't see our own culture because we're in it and it's nothing special to us. When I lived outside of Germany for a while and I came back, it was very interesting what strange things I noticed that I didn't even see before. It was like reverse culture shock. So I can only imagine what it's like if you're not born in this country, or even if you are born here but you're not a potato. It's hard to say ethnically German because there is no like clean definition of what a German ethnicity would be, because it's a mix of everything, I think. And I'm also not qualified to talk about this kind of historic stuff, so I'm staying away from it. Anyway, I really advise against just hanging out with your own friends that speak your language, even though it is difficult. And I think that one lane of entry into the German culture and German friendships could be work. Another one is hobbies. Just find weird shit that Germans do. I don't know, Wandern, Tischtennis. You will find it. Just listen to people, what they do on their day off, and you're gonna know. Just don't do bowling. Like, bowling is like the most socially awkward shit. I don't know. I just don't know why people do that. Just it's a boomer thing. If you're a boomer, okay. Like if you're a boomer engineer from India and you come here and you wanna, I don't know, waste your pension money in Germany, okay, cool, go bowling. Other than that, don't do it. It's boomer shit. Last but not least, the cultural immersion thing, or the cultural, what should you call it, appreciation thing? I don't know. I think that some people expect that if you come here, you will kind of acclimatize yourself to the culture and take in some of the everyday shit that Germans do. I don't know, maybe get some German kitchen items and use them and feel German about it. I don't know. And while I do think that this is helpful, as in if you assimilate yourself into the culture, that is a good thing, as in you participate in the culture, you are the same as everybody else. But it's also dangerous because you might want to give up some of the stuff that makes you you, and that is your family history and your cultural history. So again, with the comparison, if I would move to Sweden, yeah, Sweden is pretty similar to Germany, so it's not like a good comparison, but there are just some holidays that they don't celebrate there. For instance, Martini or St. Martinstag, which is a day where you go out with lanterns and sing songs. It would not be possible to celebrate it there for me as a German because they don't do it as groups. There is no such thing, and I would totally miss out on that holiday. But maybe I would put up some lanterns in our home, for my kid and just play some songs with her. Even though in this foreign culture it would be totally weird and no one would get it, but we would do it as a family. Maybe we would even overdo it a little bit, as in a lot of people who are not Christian participate in this Christian holiday because it's for the kids and they just like it. And maybe we would overdo it a little bit, and I see that in a lot of foreigners as well. They cling more to their culture and rituals than they maybe would if they would still live in their home country. And I think that's perfectly fine. That's just one of the things you do if you're a foreigner, I guess. So personally, I think it's bad advice to say to people that they should assimilate and that they should mostly give up their culture. I think this comes from fear of Islamization of some sort for some people, which is kind of a hot topic. Because one side is always going to be like Islam is an invasive religion. There are a lot of ethno-states who practice Islam. We don't want that here. We don't want them to create their little sub-state of some sort. Then the other side will be like, this is never going to happen. Islam belongs to Germany. It's just another religion. Leave those people alone. And this whole populist debate, in my opinion, is not really talking about the average Muslim in Germany. People who are usually laying low and not even being recognized for being Muslims. You see them and you see their ethnicity and you assume they might be Muslims, but you don't know that. They might be Coptic Christians. You don't know that. However, certain Middle Eastern ethnicities and Islam are kind of associated in Germany, so people will right away assume that you're a Muslim, whether you are or not. And that comes, again, with certain racist ressentiments, with certain thoughts and assumptions. And then again, there is this populist narrative of the good Muslim versus the bad Muslim. Like, the good Muslim is the one that distances himself as soon as there is like one terrorist attack and they're like, oh, we're not like that. We find this absolutely disgusting. We distance ourselves from that. As in, like, you can distance yourself every day from shit. Like, when did Christians ever distance themselves from Christian terrorism? Oh, there wasn't so much Christian terrorism though. Yeah, maybe not nowadays anymore, but there was enough of that. And I don't remember anyone distancing themselves from that. Not like on a daily, not in my Dunstkreis. Not around me, not my friend zone. Nobody was like, oh, I go to church, but this is not okay. Like, they threw stones at those kids there over there, the Catholics. Oh, I don't like that. I'm Catholic. I distance myself from that. Never heard that one single time in my life. Yet, when I went to an Afghani restaurant and my husband and I had some Afghan food, which is, by the way, delicious. And I cook a lot of Persian food myself, which is very similar. But anyway, so we went there. And this random waiter just came over to our table and said, we're not like that. We're not all like that. Just so you know, I apologize. And I'm like, brother, you don't need to apologize. But there was a terrorist attack the other day. And it didn't even make the connection in my head, because to me, this is so absurd that you distance yourself from some fucking terrorist who uses a religion to justify their terroristic acts. As in... What does that have to do with the religion? Oh yeah, if more people with that religion do that, yeah, that means more assholes use, aka abuse, this religion to justify their shit. That does not mean the religion itself is shit. And the issue in Germany especially is that there are so many quiet Muslims who are just doing their everyday shit, living their lives, but they are not recognized. The ones that get attention are the troublemakers, the extremists, or some political activists. So it's, again, left against right, extremists against other extremists, people who say there is absolutely no problem, you are insane if you say there is, and people who say everything about this is a problem, this religion is bad, these people are bad, blah, blah, blah. So, and the middle, the kind of centrist, relaxed, chill attitude, as in, yeah, there's some assholes abusing this religion to do bad shit, and there are also a whole lot of people who are just living their lives, going about their day, not doing bad things. Can we focus on them? Because they want protection from these assholes too. That kind of debate is swept under the rug, and people tend to listen more to the extremes because, I don't know, maybe they're afraid to lose their jobs and project this being afraid thing onto other people who have absolutely nothing to do with it. I do not know. I'm not a political analyst, but I see that every day. It makes me sad because, for instance, as a volunteer language teacher, or when I was studying and I had a lot of students that I tutored, a lot of them were foreigners or first generation immigrant kids. They were struggling because of this kind of prejudice against them. So personally, I think you should see every person as an individual. Yes, of course, cultural background matters. You should not be blind against cultural background, skin color, etc. But still, looking at every person, how they are, how they came here, what they want here, what they dream of, is in general just better approach to humankind, in my opinion. I hope this video helps you understand some of the common assumptions made against foreigners in this country. I could make probably 20 more videos about this because it's never easy to be fair to all groups in one video, so I probably made some logical or rhetorical mistakes. I am sorry, but I'm also kind of not sorry because fuck people who look at one video, take one sentence out of it that they don't like or disagree with, and then they just make their whole fucking paragraph in the comments about this. If you're such a person, fuck you to the moon and piss off my channel. Anyway, if you're a person who wants to have a, I don't know, interesting debate and be open and, you know, doesn't assume shit from one sentence in one video, or maybe 10 sentences, doesn't matter. You don't know me, I don't know you. Don't do that, that's stupid. That's prime fucking dumb, okay? So if you're not like that, then I hope to see you in the comments. Other than that, I hope to see you in that country as a functioning, participating peer. And to the guy in the video, you know, my comment on this was, you know, you should know some basic German if you want to come here. I think that's mandatory. It will make your life so much easier and you will hate it less here and you will be more accepted. That in itself has nothing to do with racism. There is enough racism in this country, but that is not it. Just if you want to live in any foreign country, you should know the language. And if you want to work here, you should know the language to a B level before you enter the country and not be like, oh, I know English. Everyone can bend around me. That's just, everyone can cater to me. That's just a shit attitude anyways. But if you're not like that and you want to come here and learn German shit, be a part of the society, work, do your stuff, even if you don't want to work because you can't work, that's fine in my book. Like, I think it's fine if you come to a country, you're disabled, you can't work, but you still want to live in that country because, I don't know, your country is shit or you don't like it there. In my opinion, it's a completely legit reason to leave your country just because you don't like it. Like, I wanted to leave Germany for a long time and I think I'm still contemplating it because, I don't know, France and Sweden, my two favorite countries. So anyway, I hope that you got that the most important take from this video was if you want to come here to learn the language and know that there are some weird ass people who will not like you even if you do know the language and even if you try your best. There will always be assholes everywhere in the world. That's normal. Just, you have to find the good ones, okay?